Creations, and today I want to show you how I package some of my stuff for sale on my Etsy shop using some of the Tim Holtz, just the paper and some washi tape. Real simple. And the contents in here are all like Tim Holtz type die cuts and stamp emboss and stuff like that. But this is just focusing on how I've packaged it. So basically, the first one here, I printed these out on my own to show what it is and what it includes. But it opens up like so, and it has a Velcro closure, and it includes like die cuts, stamped and embossed things, and then embossed papers and tags, a variety of them. And then journal cards. You may have seen these on the other video when I made that. And then some more die cuts and stuff. But I just want to show you how I made this case that it's in. And this is the second one. They're both similar. They have pretty much the exact same thing. The only difference in them are the journal cards. Some of the journal cards are different. I made these, I didn't make these on camera. This particular style on camera. I made the ones that were in the other one on camera, but I mixed the two together. And but yeah, so let me show you, and this comes out like that. And then these are all stuck on there, you know, for display. And then you just flip that together like that, and then you just close it with this little Velcro closure in the middle. Really simple. So let me just go ahead and show you how I made these. Okay, so we're going to make 2 ephemera holders, and they're going to hold all of this stuff here. So what we have, I'll just do one at a time. We have some die cuts and stamped and embossed things, and we're going to create something for them. We've got some embossed papers, tags, and some journal cards. So we're going to make something to house these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this blue. First, let's go ahead and measure how big this package is. So this is, just say 6 by 9. Okay. So this is 6 by 9, and I need like a 6.5 by 9.5 paper. So I'm just going to make 2 of them, 6.5 by 9.5. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger because I'm probably going to stitch around the edge. So I'm going to add an additional 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to make it 6 3/4 by 9 3/4. Because you want to add that extra 1/4 inch for that stitch. And this is going to be like the backdrop of this. Okay. So that one and of this one. Okay, and I also want to I want to make the background, or the very back of chipboard. I'm going to stitch this blue onto the chipboard, so I'm going to also make a 9 3/4. Let's see, 9 3/4 by 6 3/4. I want it the same size because this is going to be, I need for this back piece to be pretty thick. So I'm going to stitch these together, and I'm going to create like a belly band. So let me go ahead and get another piece of chipboard and do the same thing. But before I cut that other piece of chipboard, I want to cut a piece of black cardstock for a belly band to go across. And I'm just going to do like a 1 inch for both of them. And they're going to be 1 inch by 9 3/4 inches. Or actually it should have been 6 3/4. And they're going to go across. And I'm actually going to make the belly band kind of high up. I think that's what I'll do. Or should I make it low? No, I'm just put it in the middle. Roughly a little bit. Roughly in the middle, yeah. So I'm going to glue those together. But before I do that, I actually want to create some side pockets that are going to swing out into the middle. I'll have them swing out into the top because this is pretty thick, whereas this is thin. So if I have them swing in here, it'll kind of even out on the thickness. So before I actually glue all this together, I'm going to put the pockets coming over this way. I think I'll use blue cardstock with it as well. And the blue that I'm using is coming from this, I don't know if I have any more. It's coming from this cardstock from the Paper Studio at Hobby Lobby. Coastal. And you can just use any kind of 65 pound cardstock for it. Alright, so in order to house these, let's see, we're going to need something that's tall enough for this. So we're going to need something that's going to flip over, that's long enough for this, and wide enough for some of these. Which is basically a half a sheet of paper. So I'm going to cut both of these at 5 1/2. And let me get my scoreboard out. And I need to create a hinge. So I need a pretty thick hinge. I'm going to use some chipboard for the hinge because I need it thick. So I'm going to go ahead and score one at 1/2 inch. Okay, so I scored these at 1/2 inch. So keep in mind, I'm going to need one that is 8 1/2 inches long. So I'm going to cut these down to 8 1/2 inches because they're the same length as these foldovers. And then I'm just going to cut this down . Or in half. Okay, so now we have 2 hinges. And I'm going to go ahead and attach one of them . Let's see. I'm going to attach one of them to this blue, at the upper part of the blue. Glue wants to get stuck. And I'm not going to put a lot of glue because, like I said, I'm going to be stitching anyway. So I'm just going to add this one here. Well, I'll just put it here and then I'll flip this around. And if you'll notice, right here is the crease. I didn't put it directly up against the crease because I want this to be able to open up. So this one's going to go, I'll just have to have it come from this side. So I'm going to be stitching this on first before I add the second piece to the flap. So, but I need to get my other flap. So this one is going to be going like this with these attached to it. They're going to be going over like that. And then what I probably should have did was left like a little hint of a score so that, like, instead of it just folding over right there, I should add like another 1/8 of an inch so that it can kind of fold over. Let me go ahead and do that now. I'm just going to add 1/8 of an inch on here, score it at 1/8 of an inch. And I think that'll be okay. I'm going to go ahead and do this other one the same way. And I did that simply because I need to have, when it folds over, it needs to have room. Meaning, so I'm just going to fold this. I should have scored it on the other side. I should have scored it to where it goes that way. But I'm going to fold it like that first. And then I'll just fold it back again. Because this is how you're supposed to fold it. But because I've already got it on here, I'm just going to have it going like this. But that way you'll have like 1/8 of an inch right here. So when we put this on here, it'll come over like so, and you'll still have like 1/8 of an inch gap like that. So there's room to build up on. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm gonna stitch that on first. But well, before I stitch that on, like I said, I've got to create the other side. So we've got this side first, which is going to house this right here, this stuff here. And then I'm just going to need a short one that's going to house this over here. And I can just leave it as is. I don't have to have like an extra thicker flap. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be quite as long. All I need is the width of this right here. I'll do 2 of these that are 3.5 inches. And luckily, width, it just so happens that this leftover paper is 3.5 inches. So we've got us a hinge. So we've got our cardboard, which is 9 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then we have this blue background paper, which is also 9 3/4 by 6 3/4. And then we have our hinge, which is 1 inch by roughly 8.5 by 1 inches. But you could make it 8.5 by 1 1/4 inch would be better. That way you'd have a little bit more room right here when you're attaching that piece. But this will still work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue this little piece on here. And remember, it's going to go up to the upper part of it as well. So let me go ahead and I'm just going to add a little bit of glue back here. I'm going to let it dry. And if you have any leftover flap, you can always cut it down if that bothers you. I'm just take like 1/8 of an inch off. That way it's even. I'm not going to worry about that little flap right there. Alright, so I'm going to prepare my other one and I'll be right back. Okay, so before I stitch this up, I'm going to go ahead and add these little side of the belly band, just a little dab of glue to roughly the middle. It's roughly. Okay, so my sewing machine's acting up and I'm not fooling with it, so we're just not going to stitch these. What we will do is go ahead and assemble. So, okay, so this one's going to go here, this is going to go here. Yeah. This will go like that. Okay, so let me add the glue. And then I'm going to add some glue. I'm going to make another little piece because I don't trust that little bit right there. So I have a spare 1/2 inch piece of chipboard cut. So let's just go ahead and cut this in half. And we're just going to add that to that little 1/2 inch, that 1/4 inch, because I just want to make sure it's safe. And turn it around like this, I guess. Okay, so now we have a 1/2 inch that this paper will stick to. And now I feel safer knowing that it's going to stick. So let's just add this on here. And I'll probably just put a piece of washi tape right there just to kind of balance out the look. Yeah. And I'll cut the remaining piece right there. I'll do the same thing over here. Just add a little piece of washi. Actually, I'm not even going to add washi. Yeah, I will. I'll just add it over in here. But since that's showing, I'm going to also let part of this show, as if it's supposed to be like that. And then I definitely need a piece of washi on this side to cover that up. Okay, so now we have our flaps. This one's going to go over top of this one. So let's see what this is going to look like. I'm going to slide this in from the bottom. I think it'll do better that way. Okay. And then I'm going to get some my slug tape. And this is just some crafter's tape, permanent tape. And of course I want this, I should have it here. I'm going to have the dress form coming down right here. And then I think I'll have this right here. I'm out of frame. Hold on. And let's see, I think I'll have these right here. Okay, so that goes there. And then over here, we're going to have this. And then we're going to have, I'll put a little piece of washi there, a piece of tape there, and then I'm also put a little piece on top of this one so that it can stick to both. Alright, so now we have our little package. And you can see what you have in there. And then, and it's kind of plain, so we'll do a little something to kind of idle it up. I wonder if I should do that first and then that. Yeah, I'll do it like that. And I may even just put a piece of Velcro. Actually, I'm going to put a piece of paper here and here just to kind of make it look decorative. I'm going to make a piece of paper. I'm just going to cut this to, so 8, 4 3/4. So 8 by 4 3/4. Yeah, I think that's the best. This is, how big? 5 1/2, so 5. I'll cut that down to 5 inches. Alright, so this is a 3 by 5. Or 4 3/4. 3 by 4 3/4. So let me get another piece of paper for the other one. Since I messed this up, I'm just going to add this right here, like in the middle. And we'll just take it from there. Because what I did, the paper, without realizing it, the paper that I had to go right here, I cut it to go right there, not realizing that that was the piece that I was going to use, and I don't have any more of that color. So yeah, that's going to be that color. And I'll put like another decoration, or I'll put a piece of Tim Holtz paper, a piece of Tim Holtz memorandum paper. roughly. Oh no, half 5 1/4. It's 2 3/4, maybe 2 3/4. Yeah, roughly 2 3/4. Okay. And I'm gonna take a 1/4 inch off of this because I'm just going with the flow. Just decorate it as you see fit. Actually, I like that. Oh, that's too much. Then I need some type of closure. Or a title. I'll just have to print out a title and put it on here. And then I'm just going to Velcro this to here. And I've got some Velcro from the Dollar Tree that's been cut in half. Alright. Okay, so I cut this down to 8 1/4 by 4 3/4. 4 3/4 by 8 1/4, and I'm going to glue that on. And you don't need a whole lot of glue with this. This will be easier to decorate than that other one, simply because I use a solid sheet of cardstock on here. Just slide it over just a little bit. That's the good thing about using wet glue, is typically you can fix it if it's not where it needs to be. And that is the case with that one. Alright, and then this one right here, I cut it down to 5 by 3. 3 by 5, yeah. Let's go ahead and glue that on. And like I said, I'll just put the name of this right here, so I'll know what it is. We have our 2 packages, and I just need to add the title of each on here, and let me add some Velcro. I got my Velcro dots. Alright. And voila. And I'm just going to put the titles. I'm just going to print those out, and then I'll put that on there. Okay, so I cut out the pieces, and I do kind of want these to match a little bit, even though they're slightly different. So with this one, since I had to add this little piece of paper on there, I'm going to take a piece of the same one and I'm going to cut a circle, a 3-inch circle of the same Tim Holtz paper. And I'm just going to add it like right here. And then I'm just going to glue it on. And I'm going to glue all these together. And then I'll show you the finished product. Real simple, just really easy packaging. I'll turn it like this. Put this about right there. And then I'm just going to add this on. And this basically tells like what comes in it. It's the ephemera pack. And I just created that in Photoshop. You could use a Word document or whatever you have, I'm sure. And there's that. And I like to have contrasting colors, so I'm going to add this white on there. And I printed these out on an inkjet printer. I need to get a laser, well, I might not get a laser jet, I don't know. I do use a lot of digitals and stuff, but anyway, it's cheaper with the inkjet. Okay, so there's that one. And I need something here because it's kind of bland. I think I'll just take some of these scissors, and I'm just going to cut let's see. I'm going to cut 2 strips that are almost the same size. But at least they've got this one there and it's got the little jagged edges. I like that. And it's just enough to give it like a little, you know, just a little look, just a little designer look. And I think that's enough. It's not too much, you know. And I'm making sure that this sticks together. So here's that. You have this side here, and you've got your front. You got everything, and everything's snug in here. It's not, you know, too busy, or it's not too much. So nothing's going to get smashed or anything, you know. So that's that one. And I'm just trying to make sure that these pieces of Velcro match up together. Okay, on that one, and then we're going to finish this one, which was our original one. I'm just going to put this one there. Sometimes when you mess up, it actually works out in your favor, so. And I'm just going to put this one here. I'm going to cut this down just a hair, because it had some black from where I printed out all this stuff, and I just didn't want that on there. then that's pretty much it. And you have the 2 packs. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and check out my other videos, my blog, and my social media sites. And as always, I thank you guys so much for watching.